My name's Natalie Santiago. Um, the battle of my heart disease started at 21 after having my second child, 3 days after having my second child. I was having difficulty breathing, ended up collapsing on the floor. I was rushed to a hospital where they ended up doing some tests and ended up getting diagnosed with cardiomyopathy. At that time, I was young, scared, terrified, really didn't understand the seriousness of my condition. My father's side of the family had heart failure. Sadly, we had lost several relatives. The youngest one was in their 20s. My father was actually one who actually suffered with heart disease. Shan was actually the hospital who was able to treat him, and he ended up getting a heart transplant, which I was very grateful because it gave him a second chance of life where he was able to actually walk me down the aisle and was able to be a great grandfather to my daughters. I didn't have any symptoms until 2018, where I became short of breath, gained significant weight. It was hard to manage life and motherhood. I knew it was time to find a doctor and fight this heart disease, not only for myself, but for my kids. Unfortunately, the treatment I was receiving did not have a steady plan to where I felt I was getting better. I felt like I was getting worse. And it was just hard to even function life, where I was even just walking and I felt like I was going to faint. It's really bad. We were not trying to plan having any more kids due to my health. I also had an IUD in place. When I found out, I was very terrified. Several doctors in South Florida advised me to abort the baby and refused to treat me due to my health issues. This is when I ended up reaching out to my cardiologist, because I was scared, didn't know what to do. Explained everything what was going on, where he explained, whatever I decide, he would support. If I was to decide to keep the baby, he would get a good team in place to help me. After weeks of consideration, I decided to have the baby. Still scared, but I was ready. Where we went through having the child, and throughout the time, me and the baby fought very hard. During my pregnancy, I ended up having a stroke and an embolism, which left me unable to speak. Very hard. I felt like I was trapped in my own body. I was also afraid for my baby's survival. But fortunately, I had an incredible team of doctors to take care of both me and my child. We were able to pull through, and at that time we were fighting very hard, which we did, and we came out. In August of 2024, I was not feeling well for a good week. I was having stomach issues, where I was rushed to a local hospital where they ended up treating the AFib. Unfortunately, after being shocked, I was sent to ICU. My husband noticed that my condition was worsening and insisted the best option would be getting discharged and going to my local cardiologist in Shands to be treated. My doctors ended up doing some tests, informing us that my heart function has decreased severely. To the next step would be a heart transplant. When he told me that, I was just overwhelmed, scared. I needed time to think, so we ended up deciding, give me a few times to think about it, to where I was released and sent home with a defibrillator and a PICC line. Give me medicine to my heart to keep me alive. After a couple weeks, I felt worse. I knew that the medicine was not working, and in order to survive and be a wife and a mom, the next step was to do the transplant. So I ended up calling them and decided it's time to move forward with transplant. After several months with the impeller and the balloon air pump, me and my family were told there was a matching heart, which we were very excited. But unfortunately, when I got to the OR, I ended up spiking high fever, which prevented the surgery. Waking up, learning that the surgery did not go through, that was one of the hardest time of my life. But despite, all that, I decided to stay positive and keep on fighting for my family. I was grateful for my amazing family, the supportive nurses, and a dedicated team of doctors who helped me through this. Because without them, I would not know how I was getting through that, because it was very hard, but I did. As I was chatting on FaceTime, my husband was telling me I was not feeling well. He was encouraging me to keep fighting. We've been fighting for a very long time, not to give up. And he felt like the heart was coming. He's like, your heart's coming. As he was speaking, a doctor came in and informed us that, hey, we have a matching heart. So I was just shocked. We both were shocked. But a couple seconds later, we were just super thrilled. We ended up calling my kids and letting them know. The entire family was like crazy. March 25th was the surgery. Everything aligned well. The surgery went perfectly. When I woke up, I felt like life again. I felt amazing. I knew that fight that I was going through was worth it. Now it's time to recover, get home to my babies, make memories, and watch them grow. March 25th would be the 1 year. Every day is a reminder of strength it took me to overcome the challenges and the joy of making new memories with my loved ones. This anniversary represents not just my personal victory, but also the gift of life that I cherish deeply. I'm grateful to my donor, their family, to my care team, and the research that make this possible. I look forward to this beautiful future ahead of me. Your support truly saves lives.